Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's topic is going to be on how do you speak to your children. The reason why I decided to do this subject was because I was out the other day and on two incidents within like 10 minutes apart, I witnessed people speaking to their children and grandchildren, and it deeply upset me, and I see this all the time. And I think it's something that us parents need to become more aware of. I've done a lot of research into this as well, about how we speak to our children. The first 7 years of their life, they are absorbing everything from us. So we can tell our children exactly what we want them to do and what we expect from them and how they should live their life, how they should act, how they should grow up. They're not going to take in what we tell them. They're gonna do what they see us do. So if you're looking at your kids now and you're thinking that they're hard work, you can't cope, they're just a reflection of us. So everything your child knows is taught from your behavior and the surroundings. So it could be from school, the people they hang around with, other family members. And I just want to make it clear that this is not me being judgmental. I don't go out and look for people in the way they act with their children. Everyone's entitled to bring their child up as they please. I don't look at them and I'm like, oh my God, they're an awful human. I just see what is in front of me and what is happening. And because I'm aware of certain things, because I've either researched it or I practice it myself, I then understand the ripple effect of how that child is going to feel and how they're going to potentially turn out. So I just want to share my views and opinion on this, and I haven't always known this, so it's something I've learned, and this is just my opinion. You may think, no, that's totally not true, I don't believe it, and that's fine. But I hope that from sharing what I'm going to share now, that if you are stuck in a rut and you do speak to your child like this, then maybe you can be a bit more conscious about it next time. And if you feel that some of the things I'm going to share is your child and your relationship with your child, this is what's happening, then maybe you can think, I don't want to go on like that anymore. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of things I've seen over the last 6 months where really caught my attention, and I was like, wow, just so you get an idea of where I'm coming from. And then I'm going to just share what I've learned about this. So I'm very conscious about how I speak to my girls. They are a reflection of me, I believe that. And Taylor, obviously for 2 years he's been in our life, so everything we've done with them, you know, we believe our way has worked. My goal is just to raise happy, healthy, polite girls who are just, you know, happy with their life, haven't got any anger issues or anything like that. And that's how we're going at the moment. That's how things are. But that doesn't mean we're continuously working on stuff, which I believe everyone will have to do on themselves and with their family. So first thing I saw, which really shocked me, like this, it was shocking. I just thought, you should never speak to your child in this way, especially the age. So I was out in a restaurant and there was a couple of mums with their children, so they had like a child each, and the children were, I would say, weren't even 2. They couldn't speak, they were in a high chair, they had bottles, and the mums were talking, having a chat, and the babies were getting fed up. This was over a period of like 20 minutes, half an hour. And the one child picked up the bottle off the table and threw it on the floor. So the mum picked it up. Oh, for God's sake, got stressed, put it back. Okay, I get it. It's stressful going out with your baby, and you might have been having a bad day, and that is going to annoy you, and you just want to eat, talk, have a chat with your friend, and your baby's just throwing the bottle on the floor. So then the baby was like really restless. She was trying to calm the baby down, and then the baby threw the bottle on the floor again. And the mum turned around and said, for F's sake, you stupid child, why did you do that? Now, I get it's stressful. It's not easy being a mum, especially when you're out. But to swear at your child when, one, they can't even talk, and two, call them a stupid child, and why did you do that? This baby can't even speak. This baby is probably thinking, I'm stuck in this high chair. I don't want to be in here. I want to be out running around doing my thing. And they're getting told they're a stupid child. Now, if you're speaking to your child from that early on, saying those words, that is quite disruptive. You need to sort that out. Like I said, it's not easy, you know, when you're taking your children out, but just remember, your child is not going to be that age forever. If you're going to go out, you're going to have to be prepared that your child probably isn't going to sit in a high chair, quiet, not doing anything, and let you speak to your friends and have your food in peace. That is very wishful thinking. So I would recommend either getting a babysitter so you can go and have food with your friend for an hour on your own, or if you haven't got anyone to watch your child, go to a park, sit down outside where the baby can run around. If you're going to go to a restaurant, you cannot expect your child to just sit there and do nothing. But it did really upset me to see that this lady called her child a stupid child when he didn't even do anything wrong. But she may not be aware of that. She's just reacting on how she feels. She might be stressed. She might have no help. And then, you know, she's just saying that. She doesn't even realise she's saying it. So it's just about being aware. Your child will grow up and think, I'm a stupid child, when it's not. It's not their fault. So that was one incident I just thought was unnecessary to call the child that. But I'm fully aware that it's not easy. Like I know I've got twins. I practically have brought them up on my own. You know, you get times where you just want to scream, you want to run away. But just remember, this is your child, your beautiful baby. Be careful of the words you're putting on your child, especially if you're putting your child in that situation. You know, it's like you're setting it up to misbehave, technically, by taking it out when you know that it's not going to sit there and just do exactly what you want. The second one was, we were out the other day, and a lovely day, loads of families around, and this one mum had her children, and you could see the little boy was quite distressed. He was like, they had like folding chairs, he picked it up, threw it onto the ground, was just being quite disruptive, and she was grabbing him and sitting him down and shouting at him, pointing him like, you stupid boy, sit down, sit, no. But like, she was giving him loads of different instructions. So it was like grabbing him, sit, no, stupid, don't do that. Oh my God, what are you doing? And like, he spilt the food. Oh my God, look what you've done, you stupid boy, you've spilt the food. I could see the mum was quite stressed and the boy was quite stressed and he was angry. And then the sister joined in and she's like, no, you stay there, you sit, you do this. And like, it was so many instructions that the children probably thought, what the heck, didn't know whether they were coming or going. And the mum was really stressed. Now, I could see that this is a cycle she's obviously got into where the child's angry, she's angry, you know, the other child is trying to get involved and she's getting pushed away. And, you know, she was telling that child he probably shouldn't have had an ice cream before his lunch. See, you silly boy, you shouldn't have had that ice cream. Well, that child is not in control of himself. It's up to you to make sure that he didn't have the ice cream before his lunch. And you can't just expect to go out and everything's going to be fine when you've got toddlers. Now, if your child is angry and you're responding to your child in an angry way, that is why your child's angry. So if he's throwing stuff and uncontrollable and you're like pulling him and telling him, no, stupid, silly, sit, in an angry way, then that is going to keep happening. So I know it's difficult when you're really stressed out and you just want to go out and you want to chill. You might have stuff going on, you might have argued with your husband, you might have many issues, you might not like yourself. Now, everything you do is a reaction of how you feel. So if you're getting stressed and angry with your children, you can say that they provoked you and they're making you feel that way, but they're not. Do you know why I know this? Is not only because I've like researched and experts have said this, but I know myself, when I'm not happy deep down, I am more stressed with my kids. And I'm not saying you've got to be the perfect parent, because there's no such thing. There's going to be times when you shout at your kids, you get stressed, you say things you don't mean. I do it. I get stressed with my kids sometimes, like especially when it's time of the month. Hormones are ranging. If they don't listen, I'm like, girls, for goodness sake, just listen to me. And they're like, oh, they're not used to it. So when I do raise my voice, they're like, Mummy, why are you doing that? But if you're doing it all the time, every single day, then that's why your children, in your eyes, are uncontrollable, because they're just bouncing off your energy. So the way you're speaking to them is how they're going to speak to you. Don't forget, you don't control your children. You are here to support them, to guide them, to show them how to be. So if you're calling them stupid, silly, sit in their face, that is not a nice thing to do. Would you do that to your partner? If you would, then that is not nice either. Would you do that to your boss? Would you do that to your friend? If your friend or somebody, another human that was the same age as you or older, was acting up, would you speak to him like you would speak to your child? If you would, then okay, but I think you would think about that and think, no. But you think it's okay to speak to your child like that because it's your child, you're the mum, you're the boss. I don't believe that's the case. So if you do call your child silly, stupid, then please have a think about how damaging this is to your child. Like, they're going to grow up thinking they're these things. And again, it's not about being perfect. If you do have times where you slip up, you shout at your child, it's about making them aware of this. So if I have a stressed day and I've snapped at my children, I will explain to them what's going on. I then say, I'm really sorry, girls. Mummy isn't feeling happy today, or Mummy's a bit sad today. I shouldn't have shouted at you. I got stressed because you weren't listening. Now, your child understands why you just snapped at them. If you leave it and you've just shouted at your child, called them stupid, if you've got angry and lashed out in words and you just leave that, then your child is going to grow up thinking, my mummy always calls me stupid, my mummy always shouts at me, not understanding why. I think it's really important to explain to your children that everyone has feelings, everyone makes mistakes, everyone gets stressed and angry, and sometimes we act out on those emotions in the moment. Then they understand why, rather than them sitting there thinking, well, you know, what have I done? I've only thrown my bottle on the floor. They don't know. So it's about having better communication, but it all starts with us. If we got work to do inside, if we're angry, then we're going to keep snapping at our kids because we're with them all the time. It's not easy, especially if we're not happy in ourselves. We're going to find it very stressful and overwhelming. So my advice would be to, one, become aware of it. Think about how your child speaks to you and how your child is. Is your child angry all the time? Do you need to take control and think, wow, my child is a reflection of me, I need to sort myself out? And also, if this is the case, then I was listening to an Audible last week and she was amazing, saying about parenting and, you know, what parents should be aware of. And when you start being aware of these things and you get to the point where you're like, oh God, I need to sort myself out, I'm not happy with the way I'm treating my kids, the way I'm speaking to them, it's not about feeling guilty. You didn't know, you weren't aware, you were just in this cycle of trying to be the best parent. Like, nobody goes along in life and thinks, I'm going to shout at my kids, I'm going to make them feel bad, make myself feel bad. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about becoming aware and thinking, okay, this is how I've done it. Now I know how to do better. I'm going to try and do better. And then each day is about little steps. It's something that I'm continuously working on. I constantly work on how I speak to my kids. You know, I'm with them all the time. It's not easy to be calm and be, oh, I'm the best mum, everything's happy and positive. Like, that's not realistic. You're gonna have days, weeks where you're snappy, and you'll notice that your kids' mood goes down and they're snappy, and you'll notice that, and then you'll be like, right, I need to sort myself out again. But it's not about making yourself feel bad. It's just about being aware and forgiving yourself and being like, right, I want to do something about it, and talk to your children. I'm very honest and open with my girls. Like, they know that women have periods every month. Obviously, I haven't gone into too much detail, but they know, they see things I use. I've spoke to them about it. So now, if I'm a bit snappy, they will literally say to me, Mummy, are you on your period? And I'll say, yeah, I am. And they get it. It just makes them aware that it's not them. They don't have to feel bad for Mummy's mood. Do you know what I mean? They'll think, oh, she's on a period, it's not me. Because there's nothing worse than a child growing up thinking that they're a inconvenience and that they're stupid and that their mummy was always angry with them. It's just about helping your child through difficult times when they're young and they're a toddler. This is the hardest time for a mum and a child, learning how to communicate, teaching them how to grow through life. Like, they don't know what's happening, that we're their guardian to help them through this stage. So then when they get to like 5, 6, they know what's happening, they're aware of their feelings, they can work better to control their feelings without lashing out. I definitely believe, from my own experience watching other children and how their mums react, and the research I've done, that a child is a reflection of you, and how your child acts is how you are with them. So if you're angry all the time, if you're lashing out at your child's probably going to be the same, and go into school and not be able to communicate and play with other children. They will just lash out. They're probably going to be that child who's hitting, and that is because they've been around parents who are angry. And another thing that happened as well was, we were at the park and there was these children playing on a swing, one that you lie down, and they were with their grampy, I assume. Well, he was definitely a grampy, he was a grampy, because he said, go and sit with your nan. So he was pushing them all on the swing, and from what I was aware, I was watching my children in the park, so I saw what was happening. And the one girl was lying down, but she was a bit scared, so he was saying, lie down, or you can get off. So she wasn't doing what he wanted, and in the end he was trying to push it. He said, if you don't lie down, you can get off. So she carried on moaning, so he leant down and said in her face, you stupid girl, get off right now. He pulled her up, she started crying, and then he was pushing her, go and sit with your nan. And then the other 2 girls, he said, actually, all of you get off, I've had enough. And he was shouting at them. He wasn't like really shouting loud, but he was shouting enough, like they were upset. But he was in the girl's face, calling her a stupid little girl. I'd seen the other incident as well, with the mum and the 2 kids, and even my children watch, and they're really quiet and they're watching. And again, it's not about being judgmental, it's just like these poor kids, they don't know what's going on. And I'm fully aware that these adults don't even know what they're doing. But my heart sank. I literally felt choked, and like someone had punched me in the stomach, because these kids are going to grow up feeling really sad and empty. And you know, this might not happen all the time. I might have caught these people on a bad day, but it might happen all the time. And if it does, then these children, you know, are going to be so confused, because even the grandfather, like, first of all, he was like, get on, stay on, stop it, get off, you stupid girl. The girl is just having a moan. Okay, it's annoying. My children moan. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, like, stop moaning. But it's about communicating with them. Would you say to your friend, like, shut up, you stupid person? Or you wouldn't, because that your friend would be like, who the hell are you talking to? Like, that's not nice. If it's not nice to say to your friend or a colleague, you know, why would you say it to a child? I think it's so important to be aware of how you're speaking to these children, and understanding they're a human being just like you. They've got feelings and they're not beneath you. A child is not beneath you. Just come down to their level, try and understand what is going on in their heads. Just like we have bad days, so do kids. They might be feeling overwhelmed. They might be having issues that you don't even know about. And if you're speaking to the child like that every time, if you're responding that way when they do something, how do you know they haven't got things that they're worrying about, that they feel like they can't talk to you because you're shutting them down, telling them they're stupid? I'm all for lifting children up, lifting every human being up, making them feel important, talking to them. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy. When you've got a stressful day, you've got things on, life's busy, you want everything done now. You don't want a child acting up, stressing you out. But you brought this child into the world, so it's your responsibility to communicate with it, pause. Nothing, I believe, is more important than being there for your children and taking the time out to see what is actually wrong. So I just hope that from this video, if you are that person who is stuck in a cycle of speaking to your children in this way, then please just have a think about it and work day to day, do some research into parenting. And nobody tells us how to parent. We either follow the same cycle as we've had growing up, or we act out on our emotions and our stress. And a lot of us are stressed day to day. You know, life is not easy. So just be aware of how you're speaking to your kids. Spend some time in the evenings to be with them. Sit down, read them a book, talk to them, ask them how they feel, tell them how you feel. You know, like growing up, my parents were quite like, hide it from them, don't, you know, protect them. But I'm the different way. I'm very open with my kids. Obviously, you don't tell them your problems or your worries, but you can let them know your emotions. Like, Mummy's feeling a bit sad today. Mummy's on her period. My kids ask, how does your period feel, Mummy? I'm honest with them. It makes me feel a bit sad. It makes me feel a bit overwhelmed. It makes me feel a bit angry sometimes. It makes me feel a bit stressed. Patience isn't up there. So I say to them, when I feel this way, then Mummy gets a bit more stressed when you don't listen to me. And then they're like, oh, okay, they get it. So it's just about being aware and open-minded that, you know, kids are more understanding than we think, especially babies and toddlers. They need it the most. They need us to be calm, kind, use kind words. I would never call my children silly, naughty, or stupid, or it's your fault. Never. I always use kind words. I always let them know they're trying their best. Even if I lose my rag, I'm like, you know, Mummy's trying her best today, girls. And we all understand each other then. But it's not perfect. There's times I go to bed and I'm like, I so wish I didn't do that today. Or, you know, I hope my kids are happy. And nobody knows whether they're doing the best. But you just got to look at your kids and think, are they calm? Are they happy? Are you all working together as a team? And forgive yourself, and just remember there's always time to change. Like, you don't want to get to 50 where your child resents you. You've always shouted at your child. You haven't communicated properly. It's never too late. Like, if you've got to the point where your child is even 12 and you think, oh my God, I've spoke to my child like crap. I'm stressed all the time. My child's angry. There's still time to change. And it all starts with you. As a parent, you can change. So yeah, I just hope that from this video, parents and adults who are working with children can be a bit more aware of their feelings, how it can affect them. And if you've got issues going on in your life, then now is the time to sort it out before it keeps spiraling and then you put it on your children, because they didn't ask to be here. You brought them into this world, and it's our job and our responsibility to make sure we give them the best start in life so that they can flourish, so that they can grow and be strong, and they know how to deal with life. Because if we don't know how to deal with life, how do we expect our children, who look up to us as their role models and their, you know, their guidance, how do we expect them to do it? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please put a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you.